Hello. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that. I was running around. It happens. It happens. All right. Sorry, a little late. I had to throw some laundry into the thing. Whew. I'm Tom J. Bellezza. Welcome to the Right Mindset. We are here to celebrate the 3-year anniversary. Oh, it's a likely story. Let's catch up to what's going on. Where are you? I'm right here. I'm right here. Tech failure on your birthday. Listen, it happens. It's the 3-year anniversary. Things are bound to go wrong. Uh, I'm here. Well, fix my own drink. All right. It is a surprise party. Where is he? Probably grooming the beard. I was grooming the beard. I'll be honest with you. Look at everybody. All right. Hey, bet Beardy has his own. Yeah. Well, actually, Beardy wanted to come on while I hung out in the background, but I was like, I think I have to. I have to show up. Uh, by the way, excellent foot tapping. It's in rhythm. I think that's brilliant. Um, I can't believe I was muted. All right. Phew. So what's up, everyone? Welcome. Thanks for joining me today for the 3-year anniversary. There's also another video that popped up today somewhere somehow that's really going over what happened over the last 3 years and everything like that. So today is more like us just sitting down saying, "Hey, thank you so much." Uh, you know, Obviously, if you want to ask questions, feel free to ask questions. We can keep it going with the educational element of it, but at the same time, uh, you know, I want to say that again, I say this often, and I'm probably at this point, eh, you know, but I still want you to know that you can have a channel, you gotta have ideas, good or bad, but if no one's watching, if no one cares, if you're not connecting with people, if you're not finding good people and community and building, not only will your channel not grow, but I don't think the inspiration within the person to create will continue to prosper, and, it really comes down to, you all, you know? You make this possible. I mean, I'm excited that I'm yeah, there's only 5 people watching live right now, but these are 5 amazing people. You know what I'm saying? And, it's to me, it's not about, like, our million people. It's our good people that I'm connecting with, that I have relationships with, that I'm building relationships with. That's what the whole purpose of this whole thing. Hey, what's up? So I wanted to say I had a lot of fun doing the evening shift at work, and my supervisor drove me home all week. I didn't have to ride the bus down. That's, wow. I mean, you know what that means? You gotta get your boss a nice little thank you card, you know, maybe a lollipop or something. It's really nice when you're working with somebody and, they actually help you, and they're like, "Hey, I know you need a little something, something, so here's a little assistance." Alright. So, I don't really have much planned today other than, getting to sit with you guys, um, you know, but I do wanna say, if any of you have something going on, let me hear about it, How have you been doing with your book? How have you been doing, with the Chipsy. Um, dealing with a, really bad headache, right now, so that's why I had to take the Tylenol. I took, like, 4, so bad uh, so I'm holding off on the Pepsi. I had some this morning, I couldn't even finish the can, so I'm like, "Let me try some water, let me flush out the system and, see if we can get back to normal here." Mm. Plus, I didn't fall asleep until, like, maybe 6 o'clock last night. I was just laying in bed, I don't know what it was. It was probably because it was so hot, alright? And where I am, so hot that I just, my body was like, "What are you doing?" "Hey, what's up, man?" "Oh, Rain, thank you for the happy anniversary. Appreciate you being here. I've been watching your channel. I'm very proud of you. I like seeing you continue to do things. I like you, thinking through your process. I just want you to know your stuff is as inspiring, if not more than, all the other clients I get to watch and sit down and say, "Hey, you got another couple pages done, great." So seeing you continue pushing your story, building your city world, and just doing what you're doing. I love that you're telling us your story, your adventure in itself about your writing journey. So, uh, you know I know sometimes that's difficult, because, us creators, we fall into that, that rhythm where we're like, "Oh, I don't have anything done yet. Am I even a creator?" And it's like, well, the creating process takes different amount of times for everybody, and it's just being able to be creative in any sense of the word that's fantastic. What we got here, bro? I have had to slow down on watching videos lately. Going to focus more on writing instead of learning. I may have already mentioned that. Hey, look, you do you, Ro. The effort you put into supporting me, means more to me than I can even express, even as a writer. But for you to be writing your own stuff, I think that's important, and, please keep me in the loop on that. I wanna see that, I wanna see you grow. I wanna see you continue to get that story down, and of course, I wanna support it. Thank you, I appreciate you. You have been help oh, hey, ah, it's mostly my beard, let's be honest. My beard is the one who has all the educational elements of it. Happy 3-year anniversary. Pizza. Nom, 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 nom. That's what I need tonight. I need some pizza. See? Num, 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 num. Flowers gets it. Flowers gets it. By the way, if anyone hasn't, Flowers has a book out with a whole bunch of, collaborators. You gotta join the group though, to get a little look-see at it. But Flowers also has a and I believe go to the description of this video. Oh, yeah, there she is. Flowers. You'll see a link to her book. She has a book out on the Amazon. Um, I read it. By the way, if anyone has a book and it's available, you can put the link right into the comment section, and, I won't be upset about it. I think community is about, supporting. So if you have a website or something, feel free to just, you can just put it in there, and I think it links, right? Let's see, if I put mine in there, left here, let me see. Yeah, see, I think it links. I don't know. I loved it even without my Vampy in it. Look, your Vampy was in it in our hearts, you know? They were the one watching. They were on the outside. They were there. Yeah, whatever. Just do it. Pop yourself up there. Also, if anyone's following along even live right now, follow each other's, channels, especially if they make things. But woohoo! Hey, look who it is. It's Nicole's Bookish Nook. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate it. You're the best. Yeah, 3 years. And I think Nicole, when did we meet? 2 years ago? Long time ago, right? We did it. It's magic. The magic of the internet is all I'm saying. The magic of the internet. Um, all right. Phew. Give me a second. I'm trying to catch my breath. I'm trying to get into I was running late. I don't know. Nicole, you missed it because I missed it that I was running late. It was a long time ago. Galaxy far, far away. So I am, on chapter 5 of my outlining of plot points. Ocho. Excelente, excelente. You're almost at the end of act 1. That's really fun. Um, Ro, what do you think is the most challenging part about writing your book currently? What are you having the most challenging, time with? If you don't mind sharing. And also, if you want, you can tell us what seems to be the easiest thing for you that's just flowing out of you like air. I would like to kinda know that. Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong, but have you been, working on a short story or something? Weren't you working on something on the down low? I don't remember. I think you remind me. Oopsie daisy, we all run late. Fascinating editing a video. Um, you didn't need to edit your video. If you stood there or sat there, smiled, and you like, "Books are good," like, you'd get like 1,000 views. People love you and your energy. It did indeedy. Published what are you talking about? How do I not know this? How do I not know this? What's going on with me? Did I miss it or something? Nicole Pierman. Anyone doesn't know, Nicole has the website. Alright. Standalone novels. I don't see it. I think you're lying to me. I'm gonna call Fibber. I'm not dramatic enough to get thousands of views, man. Well, that's true. I still think it's hysterical that you made a video about how you don't like negative videos, and that video, which is a positive look on moving forward and not dealing with negative videos, got a ridiculous amount of views. Oh, yes, the Patriots brother, yes. Oh, yes, of course. I know, I definitely know. Alright, I thought it was something else. I know about that one. I'm excited that you released that. Excelente. I'm on PP4 now. First of all, PP4. PP, that's, I know, I'm an adult. That's going to take 2 chapters. Hey, takes 2 chapters, whatever it is. It's really great. Team, look at you blowing through. You're killing it. You're on the midpoint conflict. I'm really excited about that. Yeah. Oh, please keep us in the know. We wanna know this book that you're writing. We wanna see it come together. We wanna know when you're editing, all this wonderful stuff. Actually, sometimes I run out of ideas of what to do. Other times, it's way too detailed. Oof, that could create, paralysis. The too detailed. It kinda varies each time I work on. However, I set it down, come back, progress gets made. That's what I love hearing. I love hearing that. Yeah, sometimes the easiest thing to do to get back on track is to walk away and then come back, what you're doing exactly. So that's a smart move. You're using high intellect there. Yeah, we sometimes us as creatives, we feel like we have if we can't come up with an idea, we gotta just sit there. But in reality, just go do something. Wash the dishes, take a walk, maybe play with the animals, whatever the case may be. Sometimes boom, pops up and you NPC go me. Look, sometimes it is what it is. Um, uh, yes, sir. Whoa, what was that? I don't know. Like I said, I did not get any sleep last night. I fell asleep at, like, I don't know, 5, 6-ish. So, I woke up at 11:30. Just saying. Weird farted, did it? What is there, like, was the world ending? Oh, well, there was a huge thing outside. Maybe it was me. I don't know. It sounded like a robot, and, I had a crazy whooshing sound. Well, the whooshing sound there's definitely, I live right next to the road, so sometimes the trucks are very loud. But anyway, maybe it's 'cause I was seeing that. I don't know. Where are we? Hello? Alright, I'm just checking my levels. The world was ending. The world was ending. It might I know. It could also be The Wire. I gotta get into The Wire. Da-da-da-da. Oop. You are kinda am I underwater still, or does it sound normal again? I don't know what it says I'm using the proper mic here. See, I don't know. Yes, your mic is cutting in and out, but not terribly. Oof. Yeah, I think it's the wire. There are bubbles. Son of a bu Mm. Mm. I don't know. Let's try mic number 2. Let's see what happens here. Mhm. Upright the mic, shall we? My vocal mic, by the way. Let's see what happens. This is my vocal mic. Hello. All right, there we go. Oh, how's that feel? Do we got a movement? What do you think? Better? We can see, hear you. Excellent. Alright, what do we got? Technical oh, wait, good. I don't think I need this thing. This is the that's for vocal stuff. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. I don't know. Hmm. Alright. Okay, I think we're set. Okay. Uh-oh, got the big gun. Yeah, yeah, look, sometimes you gotta get out the vocal mic, yeah? Looking sexy now. Hey, looking sexy now. Oh, it has its own tennis racket. That's right. When I'm singing, I like to bounce ideas off of each other, you know? But yeah, this is the this is the mic. This is the mic I use, when I do vocals and, when I'm singing songs. Too many times we try to sing the song. The only thing is I think this picks up everything, whereas this mic doesn't pick up everything. So you might hear the cars outside, you might hear whatever. That's much better. Good. I was about to warn you that the beard was going to be furious if you keep it hidden all episode. I know, right? Just maybe hide it around there. So tell me about your books. Can you see me? Would this make the video easier to handle if I taught lessons like this? If I was just like, "Yo, how's it going? I'm Thomas." That would actually be good for me. At least visually, I'd be pleasing again. Alright. Okay. So, should we talk about what's going on? Should we talk about the video and its growth and its success? What should we talk about? Come on, let me know, and, we'll do it. We'll jump into it. I can answer questions. I could talk about the channel and its growth. We could talk about, book stuff. I can say I've been doing a bi-weekly, book meeting, with some of the kids I mentored and some of my friends from back in the day, so we're all old fuddy-duddies, and, we've been all working on stuff, someone has a screenplay, another person has, like, they're working on a game mechanic, things like that. Oh, what are you currently reading? I'm currently rereading that. No, alright. Honestly, I'm not reading anything at the moment, and the reason is very clear. The reason is, because I am editing not editing, I'm recording the audio for the self-help book. Who wouldn't be, Nicole? I'm doing the audio book, I'm finishing up the audio for the self-help book. I am Uh, I'm flying through, the draft of, the first book in the epic fantasy. I am handling the 0 draft of the second book in that series, and then I am outlining and cleaning up the outline in the third book of the epic series, and then I am also working on formatting book 2 of the epic fantasy. So I got a lot. Whoa, you're doing audiobooks too? Yes. Yeah, well, for the self-help book, not for the, fantasy stuff. Though, I do wanna do, like, more of like a theatrical recording for the fantasy books. We'll see how that goes. When is the paperback going to be published? Well, I'm publishing the paperback, the hard, the ebook, and the audiobook all at the same time, and, it looks like we're gonna have to do it, the first week, of June. So, maybe June 3rd. I have to finalize that date. I just have to kind of, like I'm trying to make sure I can get the audiobook done before then and cleaned up because you have to do a little editing. So as of now, it looks like I'm gonna finish recording the audiobook on the 21st, which means that I would get, like, a week of editing, week and a half of editing, so that might work out. So it's either gonna be the 1st or 2nd week of June. That's really the big goal. Since I had written some, of the story before, some material I basically know and some is brand new. So, I don't know where to that makes it both exciting and overwhelming at times. I agree with that. I agree with yeah. It's like, where is it? But also I have ideas, but, "Oh, look, I can make it do anything I want," so that's always fun. I'll mark my calendar. You could also Joe your calendar or Chris your calendar. It doesn't always have to be marked. Sorry for typos, tapping this all out on my phone. I get it. I get it. Also, are you when you say tapping, are you using your feet? Like, are you like, like tapping? Okay, challenge. Did I get a proofreader? No, I did not. Uh, not for this book. I did the proofreading, but also, when you're doing the audio recording and stuff like that, you know, that helps, and then, of course, I put it through a machine to, let it read out so I could hear it. I do a whole process of cleanup, just saying. Uh, that would be worst. The tapping. Did you hire Emma? If not, she'd come to kick your beard. Listen, Emma basically, proofreads, my brain, she's always keeping me in line, we send so many, reels back and forth to each other over Instagram, and most of it is just, her telling me to fix my brain. Making that all up. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So, we're doing the biweekly writers group, and, it's really been a lot of fun because, again, I come from screenwriting, so there's a screenwriter there, and they came with a script, and then the other person there they're working on a game mechanic for a tabletop role playing, so we've been helping them with their book, but also their mechanics. And then, I'm working on the epic fantasy. So it's really nice to have these 3 kind of mentalities looking at story on a fundamental letter. And I know you're saying, "Well, what about the mechanics thing?" Well, they're writing the book in a way like somebody is telling you about the world and mechanics. So it is like a story. It's like written in a story form almost. It's kind of interesting. Hey, so adorbs. Emma is adorable. I hit a wall with my MPC, but I went for a long walk and I sorted it out. Now, when you were on the walk with the MPC, you on that walk and be like, "Look, you can either do another mile this way, or we can get back home and start writing these scenes out." Just ask. I got a wild idea the other day after watching your vid on serialized writing. Ooh, are you willing to talk about it on the comments? While you think about it. So, yeah, so this writing group gets together, and all I'm saying is I recommend, people, authors, to get a writing group because not only does it keep you going and keep you writing, keep you on schedule, but you learn so much from different people and just having, like, an accountability partner, but also at the same time, somebody you can knock ideas over. It's extremely helpful. And I think if anyone hasn't yet, they should definitely start thinking about people around your neighborhood, even online, because we do it through the online, but it's only like two people that I'm working with, so it's 3 people, but again, I taught some and I grew up with others, so I got a wild idea. Oh, wait. You might get annoyed with me for it. I don't get annoyed at anyone unless they talk to me. No. I take my phone now as I'm scared. Oh, yes. Isn't that the I don't know about you, but, like, when I'm out and I get an idea, I'll just have to repeat the idea over and over again. I'll be like a name too, like, if I come up with a name, I have to just say the name, like, if I don't have my phone, readily available. But, like, the moment you stop and then, like, somebody asks you a question, then you answer the question, then you come back and you're like, "Oh, I forgot it." Notebook everywhere. Long form. That's a good way to do it, the phone, the long form. What I like about the phone is you can talk right into the phone, You can just be like, "Yo, what's up?" And it, like, dictates it. "Hey, Mr. Strike Booty. Hey, were we supposed to get together? Did we miss something? Did we miss something, Boogie?" We missed something. I don't know. Been a crazy couple days, so if I missed something, please forgive me, but I think we missed but thank you, Boogie. Thank you, Mr. Strike Boogie. Yeah. Strike Boogie's a writer, by the way. Okay. Good ideas. Wait, what do we got? Doo, 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 doo. Yes, yesterday, I knew you might have been busy, so yeah, I deeply apologize for that. I don't know how I missed that. My brain just gets all over the place. Sometimes you just gotta message me as a reminder. Yeah, I assure you, I did not mean any disrespect. Um, but yeah, anyway, yeah, so oh, what do we got? What do we got? I'm going to go bad grammar for now. It takes too long to type this all out perfectly. I get it. Gonna be he'll learn his lesson. Ow, ah. Yeah, if you tug on my beard, well, it depends. Really, sometimes it's beneficial to both parties, other times it's like, "I don't know who you are. Why are you tugging on my beard?" I'm like, "Oh, I saw you walking. I figured I'd take a shot at the beard tug." Alright. Ro is writing it out. I mean, on this phone in the live chat. I get it. I get it. I'm on board. I get it. I'm hip. I'm with it. I'm hip. I'm with it. Hey, Macarena. So, yeah, yeah. Oh, fun fact, we are at 3,945 valid public watch hours right now. So that means I need 55 watch to get 4,000 watch hours, which would mean that, ultimately, I would officially get the AdSense. So that's pretty exciting. Woot woot, right? Woot woot. You're doing really well too, though, Nicole. You're killing it out there. Oh, snap. But I will say this, according to the stream, it's saying that that is only up to the April 28th, so it's not including any of the days, the 29th through the 3rd. But I also noticed that sometimes my live videos, the hours don't count towards the number for a couple days, like, it takes a couple days and like, boom, it just appears. So I think there's, like, a discrepancy between the live and the, like a premiere video or something like that. So that's something to think about if you're trying to build your channel and you're trying to get it up to a point where you could do something with that, is I think there is a discrepancy just in general. Saying. Yeah, pretty good so far. I'm getting more views slowly but surely. Slowly but surely is better than one big shot and then, like, it all goes away, and I think what you're doing is really great. I think consistency is wonderful, and, obviously, you know what you're doing, and your channel is continually, growing. You know, even if you look back a year ago versus today, you know, like, if you put in today's if you went into the analytics and you hit, you know, 2025, and then you went in and then you hit custom after that, you'll be able to just put 24 and 24 into the dates, the years, and it'll show you the difference. I'm sure it'll show a huge growth, you know, I'm sure you're looking at especially just looking at the numbers in general, you know, your monthly watch, you're doing so good. I'm just so proud of you. That's all I'm saying. It's my autism brain is just going off. So the idea, I think I might just keep working on outlines for as many of my story ideas as I can ahead of time. Ducks out of the way, expecting to be smacked by a no, that's a great idea. In the ri in the, uh, in screenwriting, the one thing, agents tell you to do, and one of the big things producers are looking for is not screenplays all the time, they're looking for treatments or, or outlines in a sense. They're looking for ideas of stories and stories that have full, like their episodes are mapped out and their seasons are mapped out, or even a movie's mapped out. And then if they like it, they buy it and they pay you to write the screenplay. So that's something that's very smart for even writers that do long form narrative. If you just start creating a whole bunch of outlines, you'll have this backlog of stories and concepts, and then obviously also try to write the books, you know, a book at least, one book. So you're always your words down. But at the same time, if an agent talks to you something like that and you have clear direction in your writing future, it's a positive. So I wouldn't smack anyone for that. I think that's a great idea, bro. Oh, shucks. Well, you deserve that kind of compliment because I'm a big supporter. We're good friends and, you know, a as anything, we wanna see our friends succeed, right? Yes, I like the backlog idea. I think it helps me. Good, good. And the other thing is, like, there's nothing wrong with working on like, let's say you have 5 outlines. There's nothing wrong with working on all 5 of those stories a little bit at a time. Maybe one story you focus on, getting the zero drive done. Another story, maybe focus on cleaning up the outline. The other one, maybe you're working some chapters, whatever the case may be. Because it also keeps you what's crazy is I was just talking about this with the writing group on Friday, right? And that's something that came up where they're like, "I have the screenplay, and then I have a book idea, and I have this," and it's like, well, look, if you set aside an hour minimum every day, and even if you did Mondays an hour on your screenplay, and Tuesdays an hour on your book, and then, Wednesdays an hour on brainstorming, as long as, like, you continue to rotate that, it's gonna help your brain stay sort of awake. You're not gonna get exhausted or overwhelmed on one idea, so, that's pretty sexy. I think I did the custom anime right. Dun, dun. Yeah, look at that. That's a massive jump. That's amazing. Look at that. It was not what, 23,000 watch hours in this year alone? Oh, yeah, 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 because you had a couple of those big shots. You had the 5,000, view one, right? Or something like that. Yeah, you're doing really well. Ooh. Did you get did you get did you get the 4,000 watch hours then? Did you get the AdSense reward? 'Cause that looks like the ad do, 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 do. Unless 9.5 is, is the views and not I don't know. My brain is not working right now. Right? That's she did really good. Boom. Boom, as they say, boom, as they do. By the way, if anyone likes to get reviews on books that are not negative, 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 and just a positive, sun-shining person who calls you a cupcake, Nicole's Bookish Nook is the way to go. She does really fun reviews and also does, like, a side videos and stuff like that. Ooh, 500-ish away. That's what I'm talking about. Um, Nicole, you're doing a fabulous job, as they say, a fabulous job. Plus you got a bunch of members because you're it's such a good, fun channel, positive channel. Of course, people are gonna support it. I think that's always but yeah, there you go, the 5 yeah, you got 5 members now, which is great because it's rough out there, and people are hoarding their money. Me, that's me. Yeah, so, congrats on that. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. I also like by the way, if anyone hasn't seen Nicole's bookshelf yet, she has lights on her bookshelf, and I don't do drugs, but it's trippy, and I love it. It's so trippy. And do you feel like your shorts, not the shorts one would wear, but the shorts like you're posting on the YouTube, do you feel they're doing anything for you, or do you think they're, it's sort of it just feels like content at this point? I'd really actually love to know that because I was thinking about starting up shorts, but the first time I did shorts didn't really feel like it was worth particularly my time, but, uh, yes, I tend to write like I read. I grab 2 or 3 books from the library, and read a chapter out of each in order. That way, if I get bored with the story yeah, 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 that's definitely yeah, when I was an avid reader, I would read 2 or 3 books at a time. I guess you and I both have ADHD, though. Just I would get so bored of, like, one book where I'm just like, "I need new content," and then I'd be like, "Oh, I missed these characters," and I'd go back. We are obvious racket. I agree, we're kicking some butt, we can put on a disco Let's do it. Let's go put on the disco party. I'll bring the music, you bring the lights. Oh, I the, what is the disco song? What is it? Oh, yeah, it's the song I always it's the song I always hum. I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. It comes off of Dynasty, by the way, not their most favorite album in the world. So with the writing, if I get stuck, I work on the other one, go back and forth. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Some people think that might be a negative, but honestly, as long as, like, you're keeping it moving, it's really going to help. Maybe. I don't do skits, which are really popular, but that's so much work, and I only have 1 or 2 spoons lately. I feel you, yeah. Yeah, the skits yeah, 'cause, like, I used to do, like, for, TikTok before I got like, really started pushing the writing stuff, the writing kinda content, like, I do it 3 years ago. I was doing, like, band skits where, like, I played, like, a band, and, like, I played every character in the band, and they were always talking about ridiculous things, but it was also educational in a sense because it would talk about, like, the misconceptions of the music industry, and, those always did really well, but then, like, if I was just like, "Music," no one cared. Kiss. Yeah, you "Kiss I was made for loving you." Kiss. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Oh, yeah. What's the other one? Just reading some. Did you hear, of any Kiss fans out there? Oh, did you hear that, Gene Simmons had a tour scheduled, and he does, like, Kiss songs, but, like, no one was showing up, that he had to cancel his tour? Very sad, very sad. Good times. Alright, what are we doing? 40 minutes almost. We're on for 40 minutes. I was late. I was definitely late. I appreciate, the patience. Morticia has behaved herself this week. She's had a couple of nights out with the boys, but apart from that, does she come home, though, with tattoos, like new tattoos? If so, that's where maybe you might have to put the floor down. You know what I'm saying? Say something. Uh, also, I love, I'm glad she's coming home and she's not, just being herself and be like, "I'm gonna make mommy worry and just not come home right away and just hang out with the boys." Upside down smiley face for Gene Simmons. You ever listen to Gene Simmons talk and think to yourself, like, "What is this guy why is this guy saying this?" But then if, like I don't know if anyone knows this story, but if you read his, like, story, his immigration story and, like, how he lived as a child and, like, how he came over here and, like, went from nothing to all this stuff. He was gonna be a rabbi. That's always interesting. Um, just I I don't condone his behavior in the arrogant sense, but I can understand how someone of his, um, limited, uh, resources when he was younger and, like, the trauma he went through and the horror, and now he has what he has, and, like, of course, you're gonna feel on top of the world, and you're gonna feel like, "Oh, I've earned this," and stuff like that. So, like, I get that, but again, his story is quite amazing. Well, she is black, so they are invisible ones. Yeah, they just go out and vanish. They're just like, "Look, I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna hang out with the kids, I'm gonna do something," you know, maybe, sing around barrel with fire in it and, recite, Rocky songs, you know? Don't, 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 don't. It's the eye of the tiger. What is it? Oh, it's the what is it? Uh, the Kaiser. Fat and weak, what a disgrace. Guess the champ got too lazy. Ain't gonna find out, just taking up space. Sold his gloves, threw his eggs down the drain. But he's no bum, he works down the street. Back in I was working on a horror story. When I kept getting bogged down, I came up with the Western. I went back and forth. The Western was fast-paced and the other slower and creepy. Well, I mean, just genre-wise, it is the horror should be slow, so That's always a great starting point. The Western I like that, the Western is sped up, maybe the pace is a little quick. But remember, pace is the speed at which information is presented to the reader, but it isn't necessarily the speed at which it is read. Because you can have a really fast read with a slow pace. Because pace is just how much information is being presented. Um, but the way a lot of information is being presented could create a fast read, and that happens with the logical narrative movement. So if each sentence is qualifying or informing or adding to the previous sentence, and then each row is doing the same throughout the scene, it becomes a quick read because the mind is able to connect a lot of the dots without having to pause to think, because that's ultimately what slows down, the pace, is that somebody has to put a lot of thought into figuring out what's being presented to them, so that's just an aside to, but I like that you're writing a Western. I'm watching you on my phone and so viva on my iPad while I'm outlining my books. Uh, you're like multi-talented, and I think that is fantastic. I myself, uh, uh I couldn't do that, so, I'm pretty excited. I'm jealous. It's the Brio the Kaiser, they're on special tonight. If you want, you can have an appetizer. The Western is what I came back to currently. It was not meant for their own story. I like Westerns. Westerns are fun. My historical fiction and historical fantasy is way different than my urban fantasy regarding past. I know it's pace, I'm just making words. But not in a bad way, just how the story unfolds. Oh, yeah, your urban fantasy has a quick pace because you don't linger per se, and by the way, that's the negative thing, I'm not saying linger or that you don't, but, it's a quick pace because you don't necessarily slow down and kinda go into the deep emotional truth of what characters are dealing with. So it's but also it is, you know, in a sense, it should be moving fast, so it's very, very sexy. Um, yeah, but your historical fiction, like the Patriot Tales, as you know, not the boy, it's the greatest book ever, like, 'cause I've been but I do like the book, but that is more my speed. Like, when I like reading books, like, we kinda slow it down sometimes or, like, we linger in a moment. You're very good at that stuff, very good stuff. A lot of action happening. I visualize it like a movie as I write. Yeah, but is John Wayne and Clint Eastwood fighting each other in that 'cause if they're not, it's really a Western. As Thomas knows very well since he's read all my books, but my Irish historical fantasy, but I know that's on his, tippy top of his, it is the only book on my just to be no. You gotta read that Irish historical fantasy. What was I saying about fun fact about, what's his name? Kurt is it yeah, Kurt Douglas. Kurt Douglas is really small, right? And, Douglas how tall is he? He's small, right? Well, he's my height, but, no, John Wayne. John Wayne. Clint Eastwood. More like Roland. Okay, okay, we're on board, get a bigger don't flick out on my to watch list is getting long on my YouTube. I don't take his freaking fingers away. Um, so, whatchamacallit, um, wait, Kurt what was I saying? Kurt Douglas, okay? Uh, Kurt Douglas is 5'9", which is I'm 5'9 and a half. Um, and I know he's not the Cisco Kid or anything, but he did a movie with John Wayne, right? Movie with John Wayne. Let me see what movie it was. He did a lot of maybe it was War Wagon or something? I don't know. And there's a really so in movies, sometimes when somebody's shorter than somebody else, What they do is they put you on what's known as apple boxes, but they're not actually apple boxes, they just call 'em apple boxes. So, you stand on it, and it kinda sorta help your height. And there's this moment where John Wayne and Kirk Douglas are doing a scene, and Kirk's, like, leaning against the wall outside, like, a building. He's standing on the box, you just don't see it. So he's, like, the same height as John Wayne. John Wayne's a big guy. John Wayne's what is he, is he 6'4". John Wayne is a big guy. Anyway, so, uh, Kirk Douglas makes like, improvs a line, but John Wayne improvs back and then walks off the shot, and the joke that he's walking away, and Kirk Douglas can't walk away, 'cause if he does, he'd have to step down, and he would just and obviously the illusion of the so, Kirk Douglas is smiling and almost laughing in the scene, but the reason is because he's on the apple box. But uh, that ticked me off so bad. Why? It loses it lost its freaking fingers in the beginning of the second book. My car look, crabs are dangerous. Do not trust the crabs. However, drawing if the 3 was probable, my favorite of the series. Oh, no. Um, Here's a question for you, Ro. Do you prefer reading Westerns or watching Westerns, uh, as a film? Yeah, old or newer, doesn't matter, like a True Grit or like a True Grit, there's 2 True Grits, but, did you know fun fact, the Duke, John Wayne, also known as Marion Robert Morrison, professionally known as, he died at the age of 72 in 1979, the year after I was born. April, June, July, exactly, a year and 3 days, so 15 months after I was born. He had 3 spouses? What is look, I I'm all for marriage. I personally will probably never get married, it's not my thing, but, like, when I see people have more than 2 marriages, I'm not judging, but I'm curious. Like, what do they think will be better? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many but again, back then, like, my father used to say 'cause he was and he's like, "I can't divorce your mother even if I wanted to. I'm Catholic." Like, it's a whole big thing. You gotta get the permission of the church and all this other stuff, and plus we're Italian, so you can't do that. It's bad. And I'm like, "Well, why did you marry her?" And she's like, "Well, I come from a time where, like, you know," 'cause they did. They met each other and, like, 8 months later, they were married. Like, I'm like, "Alright," 'cause, you gotta be together, we gotta be together. Anyway, little inside information. I stole a trap trick from True Grit for my story. I put a twist on it, though. Ooh, interesting, interesting. I wanna add it, but I also don't wanna be spoiled here. Um, that's really cool, Ro. Oh, that reminds me, 2 years married to my hubby and 8 years together in a few months. What? Happy anniver 3-year anniversary, 2-year anniversary. This is a bunch of anniversaries going on. Yeah, right, congrats, Nicole. Welcome to 2 years. What is that considered? A 2-year anniversary for marriage is considered, cotton. Oh, you're on your cotton anniversary. This symbolizes the strength and flexibility of a growing bond. Modern interpretations can include, uh, yeah, congrats. You are welcome, Nicole. Welcome to 2 years, the cotton marriage. The 3rd one is leather gifts. Oh, you're supposed to get cotton gifts this year. So if anyone wants to give Nicole a gift, you can purchase her shirts on her store, and that is cotton gift enough. 3rd year is leather. There's a bunch of them. They end at 25? No, there has to be more than that, right? People some marriages last for, like, 50 years. Oh, 80 years. Wow. 80-year anniversary is known as the Oak Oak. What we got here? My wife and I celebrated 21 years in April. April? 21 years. So, uh, believe it or not, that, doesn't ha 21 doesn't have one, but the 20th a year is known as China, so you're supposed to be getting given China on your 20th year. Still, uh, that's interesting. 21 years is a long time. You should get I think you should get a gift for it. Cotton, I actually focus on the 8 years together because we weren't going to get married, except the military doesn't like that, so we got married. "Oh, okay, oh, okay." 8 years is bronze or pottery. So you can now get some bronze. So it's, why? It's considered bronze because it's strong, of course, just like the 2 of you. Nice. Look at that. There you go. Showing my age. Yeah, but I think you and I are about the same age, aren't we, Ro? You know, where are we, 21, 22? Alright, very logical we are. Hey, sometimes you gotta think logically and not emotionally, right? You know, sometimes you just get married. Like, if I I'm a poly guy, so even if I wanted to get married, like, that's the whole thing, right? Because then, like, everyone's like, "Well, who do you marry? Do you marry this one, or this one? Why can't I marry all 3 of you? Why can't we just be married?" So, legally, it's 1, right? If that was the case. But you could just be like, "We're married," like, you're my forever, right? You're one of my Yes. Yes, we are in our 20s. Welcome to the new age. So, but today is the 3rd, so today is my leather gift. So if anyone wants to send me some leather gifts, the 3rd year of marriage lays claim to one of the most versatile wedding anniversary gifts of all. Leather representing the shelter and security you feel. Interesting. I'm a year older than you. Oh, well then, so you're 22. I'll send you a gimp outfit. Interesting. Yeah, that's definitely not that's latex. My skin might not work with that. There's too much oil needed and powder. Well, shite. Here's a question. Oh, I got a joke for you. I got a joke for you. Exactly 22 again. That's funny. Um, here's a joke. I just heard this joke the other day. Alright. So a guy is, walking around on ice, right? And, he has, like, a fishing pole and a ice, saw. And he starts sawing at the ice. And then he hears real big and loud, "There are no fish under the ice." And he looks around, yeah. He's like, "Alright." So he stops what he's doing, he gets up and he walks, like, maybe, like, 10 or 15 feet. And he starts again. Right? And then he hears it again. "There are no fish under the ice." And he looks around all frightened. He's like, "What is going on?" You know? And he's like, "Is that you, God?" And then you hear, "No, but the hockey game will be starting soon, so please exit the ring." That's a stupid joke, but I love it. That's the kind of humor I like. I like humor like that. Silly, silly humor. Anyway, you do. Mm. Nice. Listen, I don't need your platitudes. Please as exit at the ring. Mm, okay. So, by the way, since we are celebrating the 3 years, we have what is this? 5 minus 12 is 7, I right? Yeah, 7, 8, 9, yeah. So, it's 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So 7 months remaining. So let's talk about 7 Oh, yeah. Guy walks into a bar. You think he would have noticed it. True story. Right, a horse, ordered a, drink from the bartender, and the bartender said, "Why such a long face?" Um, so I have we are 5 months into 2025 and 7 months to the end of the year, okay? And, so this year for me, by the way, Uh, I bet that hurt. Walking into a bar does hurt, I tell you. Boom. You thought one of them would have noticed. What is that? 2 Jews walk into a bar, you think one of them would have noticed? Yeah, that's good. So, motivationally speaking, some people in 5 months into the year, they think, "Oh, I haven't done enough this year." But the reality is if you do one thing a day, you're doing 365 things towards that thing each year, right? That's a lot in perspective, you know? It's sorta like right now I have 2,035 subscribers. That's 2,035 people standing inside a room watching whatever it is. That's a huge crowd. If I could have done that, every day with my band, it would have been amazing sold out shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even when you're writing or you're creating, just a little every day is something powerful, especially if you add it up, right? So, was it a metal bar? It was, unfortunately. It was a metal bar. It was a little rusted, maybe a little curved, sometimes depending on the weather. Uh, but at the end of the day, 5 months, right, you gotta say to yourself, "Am I where I wanna be? Have I been doing what I wanna do? Have I been creating momentum?" And if the answer is no, remember, you're allowed to change things up. Then we can have that argument like, "Well, you know, my age or whatever." Like, I'm, 47. Yeah, I'm 47. Uh, and I could be thinking, "Oh, I can't really restart another career," but I'll tell you the truth, you know, I started in comics, everyone knows that, and I moved into music, and from music I did comedy and then acting and, really got into screenwriting, and I got into that world, but really every 10 years, I basically started, like, a new journey or a new directed career in the entertainment so I've always been in the entertainment industry, but at the same time, I've changed course every basically. And some people would think that's, ridiculous or crazy, but in reality, you're never too old, never you know what I'm saying? Like, we do have quote, unquote, "limited time," right? Because we never know. But if we think like that, like tomorrow, you can walk into the street and somebody or a car crashes through the building, like, we don't know, right? So, if we live in that fear, then what are we truly creating in ourselves? And it's important to know that 5 months, 7 months from now, whatever the case, uh, it's alright to start. If you have a new idea or if you wanna change things up, and that's something that definitely was, proposed to me by one of my mentors a long time ago because I was doing it wrong in the music industry. I thought I just need to write songs, record albums, and play shows, and they were trying to teach me the music industry, just like people taught me stuff in the acting world, and we joined the union for SAG, and the things I learned about the acting industry that you can't know as a non-actor or even an actor who's outside that system, right? As you get further and further into the system, you learn new and new things, right? So my point is you know, what we think we know, uh, uh, isn't necessarily what is true, right? So with that said, my mentor was basically saying, "Look, you've been doing it like this for whatever it is." I think it was like 5 years. I was doing it poorly in the music industry, right? And they were like, "It's okay to change things up because it hasn't been working, but you've went 5 years with it not working in the way where you wanted to. Yeah, we were playing shows. Yeah, we were touring a little bit. Yeah, we were doing these things we weren't, A, going where we wanted, and we weren't where we thought we should be in 5 years. And statistically speaking, you haven't succeeded in 3 years. Technically, you're a quote, unquote, "failed business," right? So, he was like, "You gotta change things up." And I started changing things up. And then I started realizing I can always change things up. So I always started giving myself these, like, 6-month evaluation periods. Every 6 months, so we're 5 months in. So next month I still do it today. I'm going to reevaluate where everything is, how I've been doing it, and my process. That's why last year, I decided to record all of my videos and just premiere them, and now I don't have to focus on writing and recording videos every week or every couple of weeks, I can now focus on other things, which allowed me to write more, which allowed me to network more, which allowed me to market more, which allowed me to interact more, which allowed me to do these live videos without being overwhelmed. So as you work on your books, as your careers move, if you're not where you wanna be, it's okay, no matter how old you are, to stop, reevaluate, and change things up. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you're not building, cultivating relationships with people, if you're not establishing your brand value, who you are and what you bring to the tables, and you're not learning the industry, it's going to create stagnation only because people open doors. People need to say yes to you, right? And if that's not true, then contact an agent. Well, now you're networking. No, I'm not. I'm asking an agent to do right by me. Yep, they still have to see your brand value, what you bring to the table, and is there a future? Am I signing you for this book or am I signing you for the future? Are we gonna do more things together? Relationship style that is good for me as an agent, right? These are things they're thinking about. They're not just thinking about your book. They're thinking, "All right, if I set up a meeting, will this person responsibly get there? How is their social media? I know that social media is important that I'm publishing. Are they consistent on their social media?" Right? So these are all things that you have to think about, but at the same time, you know, that agent has to say yes to you. So that's networking. They have to see your brand value, not your book value, your brand value, what you bring to the table. And of course, you have to always be learning the industry. And those things changed my life forever. Just those 3 little things. Oh, it's who I know, who knows me, and how well I know myself, right? And, rambling, but I get excited and passionate about, like, some of I wanna motivate. But my point is, it's okay to look at where you are and say, "All right, am I where I want to be? Am I heading in the right direction? If not, let me reevaluate." And that is not a negative. You did not fail. Failure is giving up. Adjusting, changing, looking at it in a different way, that's what smart people do. That's what successful people do. The entrepreneurial brain finds solutions by thinking outside the box in a proactive way. And that's something to live by. Alright. Oh, we've been doing this for an hour? Hey, thank you for staying for an hour. Alright. With that said, why don't we go back old fashioned? The floor is yours. Let's answer 2 or 3 questions, and then we'll call it a day, and then I'll see everyone tomorrow to write a book with me. Make this happen. Oh, hey, assignments from you help me be creative. Some might find it annoying, but each time you say right outside your story, writing time, I get excited, enthused. Problem is, I can't always come up. Um, so if you do it once, you've already done something good. But, I was just talking to my buddy, like I said, the writing group, and he's being overwhelmed by all these ideas, and I brought up, "Why don't you just every day, Sunday through Saturday, choose an hour of the day, and that is your writing block. You don't have to physically write, it's just you think of stuff or you work on ideas or you clean things up. You could do whatever you want, but it has to be focused on writing every day. And after 22 days or whatever it is, whatever the habit creating, you're gonna start creating a rhythm habit, and it's just gonna become your pattern of effort. And every day at that time, unless you have something you have to go do, you're gonna sit down and do it. So, if you find yourself that you can't, it's good to start creating a habit hole for yourself. A hole is sort of like, "Oh, I hit that hole. I gotta sit in this hole for an hour, and I gotta do something." Even if you do nothing physical and it's just mental, it still allows you to remember, "Oh, this is my X hour. This is what I do during this." With ideas for exercise. Uh, oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I should have finished it. Problem is I can't always come up with ideas for the exercise or assignment. You know what? I'll answer. Eh, you know, worst case scenario, brainstorming is a really good solution to that. Brainstorming is you're not trying to think of the assignment or the ideas, you're just thinking of ideas. And those ideas will turn into something. A good example of that, let's say I can't think of a joke and I wanna tell a joke, about whatever, and I'm trying to write a joke out. And in my mind, I'm like, "I'm gonna tell a joke about water." The only thing that's coming up is cats, you know? Like, "Oh, I keep thinking of cats." Well, then I write, "Alright, cat, alright, fat cat, fat orange cat, oh, fat cats. Oh, there's something there, right? Fat cats. It's a slang, right? That's something. Uh, oh, wait, it's, Pussycat Club, whatever, whatever. You start coming up and you just do association through brainstorming with what it is you are thinking, not necessarily with the water. Eventually, you might come back to the water. Even if you don't, who cares? The idea is that you're training your brain to think and find solutions within that idea. It's your training the brain to follow the threads of your reality. So even if it's nothing, start thinking about nothing. Being like, "I can't come up with anything." "Oh, I can't." "Oh, a guy who can't come up with." Oh, well, why can't they come up with anything? Did they have brain damage? Did they get into an accident? Are they in a coma? Ooh, are they disassociated? So now what you're doing is you're just training yourself to follow the threads of ideas. Oh, it's a blank page. Oh, is it a blank page or is this am I looking at the universe through a character's eyes and it is a vast nothingness of somethingness? And then start playing with that. You just take um the inaction or the wall or the stumpage, and you just move with it, right? You just lean into it. Doesn't matter if it's not about the water that I wanted to write about the water, but now my brain is thinking about cats. So it's good to sort of just kind of follow the thread. So when you give examples, I take them a different direction. It helps to bounce them off you. I like that. But I also don't want to impose on your time too much. You've got stuff to do as well. Well, remember, you could always you got my emails. You could always send me stuff, and I can get to it when I get to it, which is usually faster than most. So bear that in mind. Uh, as long as you're not like, "I sent it to you, and I demand 3 minutes later for it to be responded to." Well, now that's an imposing now you're imposing on me, but if you send it and I can do it and 'cause I do, like, I like helping people, so it's not a big deal. Just keep that in mind, bro. I'm doing that 300 to 1,000 words a day, then my story shoots into my mind when I'm trying to sleep with a tiny plot hole. I find it hard to switch off, at least I can type it in my phone and try to sleep. Don't I know it? That is like the writer's curse, it's like, "Oh, it's bedtime." Yeah, but if, like what if Kiss does show up and they're in the story? One's a demon, one's a spaceman, another's a cat, the other one's a starman. Oh, yeah, they could work out with my vampires, why can't they? They're all dressed up in cool clothes. I get it, I get it. There are things that I know need fixing, but I talk to myself and say, they'll still be there when you start to edit." I would say always write down whatever it is you're thinking about, even if the idea isn't solid. However, Stephen King says, "Think of the idea, linger on the idea, and then if the idea it wasn't a good idea." I don't agree with that. I think even bad ideas can become great ideas. They just need work. But more importantly, you don't always have to use the idea, but some ideas can become springboards to better or more interesting ideas. No, I wouldn't do that to you. That would be totally ungrateful of you. Yeah, I mean, if you did it every day, all day, yeah, absolutely. But if you did it once in a while, once a month, I wouldn't. Like, what is this guy doing? What is this guy doing? Because bouncing ideas off of me allows me to think, which also exercises my thinking brain and exercises my writing brain and all these other things. So, if anything, we're both benefiting. We're both practicing a skill, a tool. Because it is what you're doing when you're bouncing an idea off, you're ultimately asking questions to yourself, like, "What is it? I have this idea, where do I wanna put it?" And maybe it helps you examine it. There's another thing um, there's another thing about bouncing off ideas that in a writer's room, like when we're doing a TV show or a screen, what we sit around is like 4 or 5 of us together. It's bouncing the ideas off that lead to plot holes or that lead to the idea that maybe this isn't a good idea. So, I'm just not going to send you not going to stop sending you jokes in your comment sections. That's funny. Sometimes, anytime, that's the world we live in. Ooh. Oh, by the way, for anyone who's listening, since you're my lovely supporting, audience, I am starting to prepare next year's list of videos. I have some of the other video ideas that have been mentioned, but if you have video ideas, that you want explored and, you want my perspective on it, just know you can comment that stuff in this video in the comment section. "Hey, I would like more videos on this," or, "You did a video on this, but can you explain it more?" And that'll help me sort of start building the new list. I have a list currently, but I would rather hone it towards the needs and, speaking of what Rose saying, bouncing ideas, like, uh, I would rather it be more honed towards what, especially my core audience, my friends, the people guys, the ones I'm building relationships. The videos are being a little bit more isolated to. What is needed? What is needed? What n I do know next year you will have, uh I'm making a video that's dedicated to each specific plot point. So, believe the actual first video to that series is, let me see. Incident. Oh, July 30th starts the plot point 1. I already filmed that video, and then, inciting incident will be September, then October will be, plot point 3, October 29th. Ooh, plot point 5 will be November 6th. Wow, I didn't realize I got so many done. 7, 8 I got the whole first I think I got the whole first, oh, no, I got almost the whole first act of plot points will be out by the end of the year, and then, going into 2026, I will be the plot points, explored in greater detail, which should be fun. Also, I have already recorded what's known as, it's pros on pros, basically. It's a series where, uh, I take professional pros and show you how the logical narrative movement and, like, why it works and why it doesn't work. So we get to explore that through that video. But I want to, do something, tailor towards, the people that give me your time. I wanna give you my time with stuff that matters to you. Include and well, that's definitely I've already that's for next year, I will include exercise and assignments for specific videos. Obviously, if it's a top 10 video, especially if you give an example to build off of. If you can give a comment back or we send them to you by email would be great in lots of practice. Yeah, yeah, I like it. I like it. I gotta edit this one video and go run errands, but congratulations again. I'll bother you on Hey, Nicole, thank you for joining me. Congratulations on 8 years with the same person and 2 years married. Cotton anniversary to you. I'll talk to you shortly and, know that you loved it. Also, it's 1:13. Alright, it's 3:16 over here. Listen, everyone, I think it's time to start doing all the goodbye stuff. So for anyone who's watching this on the rerun, MakeRightLeftHere.com. You can find everything you need to find on me, from the books coming out to the books that are out to what I am doing to potential classes coming up, etc., etc., etc. So, do you have what it takes to make a right left here? Do you? Do you? Whatever the case. If you haven't done so already, and you got this far, and you're like, "This guy's crazy enough where I can appreciate him. I'm gonna follow his beard as long as I can." Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. And obviously, if you have questions or, as I said, you have ideas for videos, please put those in the comments section below. By the way, clicks on Golden Girls. Thank you for being a friend. Dun, dun, dun. Um, fun fact: my mother knew the brother of the mother on that show, who was also the youngest of the actresses, but also, I'm sure everyone knows this, Golden Girl ages. The Golden Girls were supposed to be 63 and older. However, the actors themselves were not, and, that makes me feel I'm almost a Golden Girl, and I'm okay with that. Anyway, alright, with that said, 6 Degrees of Thomas. Yeah. Fun fact about Kevin Bacon. No, he actually hated 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, but then turned it into a nonprofit that actually helps, benefit certain things, right? The 6 Degrees Kevin Bacon nonprofit. Right? He did a thing where yeah, 6degrees.org is a charity led by Kevin Bacon, launched, in 2007. The organization builds on the popularity of the small world phenomenon by enabling people to become celebrities for their own causes by donating to or raising money for any charity in the United States. Oh, yes, 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 yeah. I love seeing that. That to me, by the way, like, when I see, a celebrity or somebody with, what I call value sets or, mobility or, they can make things happen, and they use it to, like, sort of, like, add to society. I don't I don't demand that anyone with that kind of money or celebrity should have to do that, but when I do see them doing it, it really touches me because, like, that's the thing that makes me remember that humanity is possible. That's the kind of stuff that makes me believe in life, and I think I think even in my own life, like, when I don't see people helping one another, I don't judge it, but when I see people helping each other, I judge it in the most profoundly kind and compassionate way where I'm like, "That is beautiful." I don't understand, why people don't do it, but when I see people doing it, I understand why it's hard because, like, again, we do give ourselves and sometimes we spread ourselves thin and sometimes we get used and, all these other things that add potential jadedness, and it's just the idea that, even if it's one person helping somebody, it's but also at the same time, like an Elon Musk, like, he has all this money and people are like, "If he just gave $1,000,000 to everybody, everyone would have money." Like, I don't think that's, I don't think that's the thing. I think it's more or less, you gotta help in a different way, you gotta help educate people on how to use money. Well, have an awesome day, I'll see you later, my fellow 22-year-old. Catch you later. But with that said, I don't wanna ramble on anymore. I'm gonna get going. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. 3 years, 3-year anniversary. I'm so excited to see where this goes. We are gonna continue making things happen. To everyone out there, flowers, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Especially thank you to you. You've been supporting this channel and really, uh, I I'm so grateful to just the fact that you're a member. I just thank you for that. To everyone out there, I'm Thomas J. Bellezza, and as always, keep developing the right mindset. I'll see you next time. Bye.